Isekai anime often drown in filler, but these refuse to miss. We are ranking 10 flawless isekai, where every single episode delivers absolute storytelling perfection. Kicking off our list at number 10, ReZero Starting Life in Another World Season 3. Subaru Natsuki returns to face a brand new nightmare in Priestella, the Watergate city, when a seemingly peaceful invitation turns into a sudden, coordinated assault by the Sin Archbishops. Survival requires endless deaths. The stakes escalate drastically as Subaru navigates impossible choices to save Emilia and protect his deeply fractured heroic allies. White Fox delivers an absolute masterclass in psychological horror and character progression. Every episode is incredibly tight, stripping away previous comforts and forcing massive growth. The sheer dread practically drips from the screen, matched only by gorgeous animation during combat. You will stay glued to your seat because this season genuinely lacks a single weak link or wasted emotional beat. Dropping in at number 9, Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World. 3 Kazuma and his highly dysfunctional party face their greatest challenge yet when a royal invitation summons them to the capital. Tasked with entertaining a sheltered princess, the crew quickly stumbles into a massive political conspiracy. They must outsmart corrupt nobles and bizarre monsters while somehow keeping their incredibly terrible reputations completely unharmed forever. This magnificent season captures the legendary comedic magic of the original run flawlessly. Studio Drive steps up the visual gags, ensuring every single punchline hits with devastating accuracy. What makes these episodes brilliant is the relentless pacing. The jokes never stop firing. You are guaranteed endless laughter without any boring transitions dragging down this delightfully unhinged and chaotic fantasy masterpiece. Moving down the rankings to number 8, Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 2 Part 2. Rudius establishes a fresh life as a newlywed in the magical university city, but tranquility shatters when a grave rescue mission calls him into the treacherous Begarit continent. Facing lethal labyrinth traps and powerful guardian beasts, he must risk everything. This dangerous journey pushes his magical prowess and strategic mind beyond absolute limits. Studio Bind continues to flex its animation dominance with breathtakingly fluid combat and gorgeous background art. The emotional stakes hit harder than ever before, anchoring the fantastic action to genuine heartbreaks. This arc expertly balances tender romance with grueling dungeon exploration, proving once again why this specific fantasy franchise reigns as the undisputed cinematic king of the modern isekai landscape. Breaking through the ranks at number 7, The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. Ken Usato accidentally enters a magical realm alongside 2 destined heroes, only to discover his extremely rare affinity for restorative healing magic. Drafted into an intensely brutal rescue squad by a terrifying captain, he endures grueling physical conditioning. Usato quickly weaponizes his immense stamina and rapid cellular regeneration to crush advancing demon enemies. Turning a classic support class into a fiercely aggressive melee powerhouse is pure genius. The series never wastes a minute, delivering rapid training montages and shockingly visceral combat sequences. Usato is incredibly likable, and watching him absolutely bulldoze foes while simultaneously healing his own shattered bones offers unmatched heavy entertainment without a single boring fantasy filler detour slowing things down. Dominating the middle of the pack at number 6, Villainous Level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the Demon Lord. Reincarnated as an Otome game antagonist, Yumiella Dulkness resolves to avoid her destined demise by pursuing a peaceful existence. Unfortunately, her obsessive gaming habits lead her to grind dark magic relentlessly, accidentally achieving maximum level. Her overwhelming power attracts extreme suspicion from noble academies, completely derailing her profoundly quiet and highly introverted life. Deadpan humor elevates this adaptation far above standard villainous tropes. The execution is incredibly crisp, perfectly utilizing Yumiella and her total lack of social awareness for maximum comedic impact. It never feels repetitive because the supporting cast constantly reacts to her terrifying abilities with sheer panic. Every episode guarantees consistent smiles from its wonderfully unique and highly overpowered main character. Breaking into our top 5 at number 5, No Longer Allowed in Another World. A suicidal literary genius from early 20th century Japan gets transported into a classic medieval fantasy realm. Completely ignoring typical heroic quests, he seeks a beautiful place to ultimately end his life. Equipped only with sleeping pills and immense depression, he paradoxically becomes an unstoppable force by casually defying every strict magical rule. Subverting the power fantasy trope has rarely looked this visually striking or felt this incredibly funny. The melancholic artwork contrasts brilliantly against the absurd situations. The writing stays remarkably sharp, turning dark thematic material into top-tier satire without ever dropping the ball. Every installment delivers unpredictable twists, ensuring you are constantly engaged and laughing entirely out loud every time. Securing a solid spot at number 4, Ascendance of a Bookworm Season 4. Rosamine expands her ambitious printing industry while aggressively navigating the incredibly cutthroat politics of noble society. Driven by her obsessive desire to read everywhere, she introduces revolutionary educational systems. However, rival factions plot against her booming enterprises, forcing this frail young girl to wield magical artifacts and clever diplomacy for absolute daily survival. World building simply does not get better than this masterpiece. The sheer detail injected into the medieval economy and social hierarchy is absolutely phenomenal. Every episode pushes the overarching narrative forward without relying on cheap action thrills. Watching an intellectual protagonist outmaneuver powerful aristocrats using pure economic strategy creates an incredibly satisfying and remarkably flawless viewing experience for dedicated fans. Taking the bronze at number 3, Apocalypse Hotel. Surviving the end of civilization takes unusual priority when a luxurious inn mysteriously materializes amidst post-apocalyptic wastelands. The fiercely devoted manager must protect her lavish haven from mutated monstrosities and desperate scavenger gangs. By offering hot baths and gourmet meals, she slowly unites a broken world through exceptional hospitality and devastating combat. This hidden gem completely reinvigorates the saturated genre with an incredibly charming slice-of-life approach mixed with brutal survival stakes. The stark contrast between horrific wasteland realities and cozy hotel interiors looks absolutely phenomenal. It never drags, pacing every bizarre guest encounter perfectly. You will be constantly amazed by its immense emotional warmth and stunning action choreography every week. Missing the crown by just an inch at number 2. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Season 3. Rimuru Tempest faces mounting political pressure and holy crusades after formally establishing his powerful monster nation. The Western human churches violently mobilize their sacred knights to eradicate his expanding territory. Balancing massive festival preparations with intense strategic warfare, Rimuru demonstrates unparalleled diplomatic mastery while unleashing godlike magical abilities to permanently protect his citizens. Studio 8-Bit crafts an exceptionally gripping season that perfectly blends intricate world politics with earth-shattering battles. The execution is remarkably engaging, avoiding any tedious exposition traps. Watching the Tempest Federation completely outmaneuver arrogant enemies is profoundly satisfying. Every single episode is packed with vibrant animation, fantastic character dynamics, and an unbeatable, highly entertaining, triumphant fantasy storyline for fans. And finally, reigning supreme at number 1, Overlord the Sacred Kingdom, Ain's Owal Gown orchestrates his most delightfully wicked scheme yet by masquerading as a benevolent savior. When a demonic invasion ruthlessly decimates the deeply religious Sacred Kingdom, the desperate paladins mistakenly beg the undead Sorcerer King for salvation. Ain's brilliantly manipulates their blind faith to quietly subjugate the entire human nation from within. This cinematic arc represents absolute peak dark fantasy fiction. Madhouse flexes unbelievable production values, rendering horrific demon encounters and spectacular magical displays with terrifying precision. The sheer dramatic irony makes every scene highly addictive. It is a completely flawless masterclass in villainous protagonist storytelling, ensuring your eyes remain absolutely glued to the screen during every single masterfully crafted, intense minute. These masterful series definitively prove that the modern isekai genre can still provide perfectly paced, highly engaging entertainment. I want to know which flawless fantasy realm dominates your own watch history. Defend your absolute favorite choices down in the comments. Because I read every single one.